right, we will begin this meeting of the Planning Commission for the City of Anderson. So we will start with an invocation. Please join me. We ask for your hand of blessing in this meeting. We ask that you would guide and direct our meeting so that it is full of wisdom, productivity, and respect for one another. Thank you for helping us accomplish our work and our goals this day. Amen. Amen. I think everybody has a copy of the agenda or the minutes from our October 8th meeting. The only thing I saw was Herbert, I don't believe, was here. So that was the only thing I saw that needed to be changed. Anybody see anything else on the minutes? Here none. Does someone want to make a motion they be approved as amended?
I make a motion we approve.
All right. Second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. We will move on to the, is there any addenda to the agenda?
No, sir, not at this time.
All right, we'll move on to new business, ANX 244, 903 West Malden Street.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The site is outlined in red here. You can see, where's my cursor? You see Malden Street runs this way, sort of diagonally across the middle of your screen. Lee Street is here, and then on the other diagonal is Bleckley Street here. It's important to note that everything in green is within the city limits. So there's this, Bleckley becomes that edge for the city limits, with the exception of that little notch out right there, which we're talking about tonight there. Everybody know where we are?
Yep.
Great. Okay, the applicant proposes to annex the subject property consisting of approximately 4.3 acres into the city limits to construct a single-family subdivision. The requested zoning of PDD will apply to the new subdivision, Bleckley Street Commons, with a maximum of 38 lots. The price points for the dwellings in this development are proposed to help meet the need for more attainable, affordable housing in the city. So I'm going to run through some of the highlights from that PDD document, which, as you will remember, you are suggesting or recommending whatever to Town Council tonight in addition to the annexation. So some of those highlights are, again, 38 single-family detached units total. That would be an 8.8 units per acre. The minimum lot width is 30. The depth would be 65. The minimum lot size is 2,500. There is a front yard setback of 15, a rear yard setback is specified of 10, a side yard of 6. These all match the R5 zoning district, which is across Malden Street. The landscaping and tree preservation, again, 40 street trees at 40 foot on center, sidewalks on each side of the road. Pretty much it. Staff is recommending approval. The lots in the proposed subdivision are smaller than other residential developments that have been recently approved. It was designed in this manner to help maintain the affordability of the housing product. Although they are detached dwellings, the lot sizes are larger than most of the attached townhomes that have recently been approved and developed inside the city. So again, this is the PDD document. On this page, you can see here the specifications for the lots that we talked about and those setbacks. On this sheet, and again, I'm just highlighting, there's other things, but I'm highlighting the landscape requirements where you see the 40-foot, street trees 40 foot on center, sidewalk requirement, things like that. On this sheet, it's important to note up here that there's a minimum of 20-foot separation will be provided between the back of the sidewalk and the front of the garage. That's to make sure that there's a parking stall or a parking space in front of the garage that does not block the sidewalk when there's a car in it. So here is the proposed plan. Now, I will say that because this is under 10 acres, a tree survey is required, and that has not been submitted yet, so this may change based on what comes in with the trees. However, I'm not anticipating, or we're not anticipating much change. It's good to point out down here the stormwater detention basin, and there is a 20-foot buffer in the PDD documents that's required along these street frontage for that stormwater detention. Again, the plat for the community as it is, conceptual. Driveways on here have been combined to minimize or reduce the number of entrances off of Malden. And that concludes staff's presentation. Again, it is recommended for approval.
Did you receive any calls? Did staff receive any calls on this?
No, sir, we have not.
Okay. And just for clarification, it's all in one, it's annexation and PDD, you can't do one or the other?
Yes, sir. When you come in for an annexation, you have to request a zoning.
Okay.
They're requesting PDD, and that requires a document.
Okay.
So we're not approving the actual layout?
No, sir.
At this moment, we're just
No.
approving the zoning itself?
Worst case
This is
scenario.
just hypothetical,
Yes.
what it would look like, should we rezone
And
it?
the PDD.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Worst case scenario, that plan could all go up in smoke.
Correct.
But the key point is they're limited to 38 units
Okay.
on this parcel.
Okay. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that we were,
Of course.
So with the R5, a density of 8 units per acre, I mean, that's, all this is conforming to our, like an R5, is that what you said?
No, sir. The setbacks on the lots were similar, or identical actually, to the R5.
Okay.
The lots are actually smaller. They're 2,500 and R5 is 5,000. So they're
Yeah.
small lots. And I think that's what it is what staff is trying to point out, that these are considerably smaller lots for detached units, but we have approved attached units of similar size.
Okay.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, now it does, yeah. I was wondering why you brought in that.
Yeah, it was
comment, but it was,
It was a little confusing, yes.
but it's a single-family home on 25 where we've done 2-family homes on 5,000. Okay.
Right.
Any other questions for staff? Hearing none, would someone like to make a motion on ANX 24-4? Motion to approve, second?
A second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that will go before the city council meeting on Monday, December 9th.
9th. Yes, sir.
All right. Moving along to RZ 2413, 1300 Glen Street.
Okay, a little bit down the road, you can see here, Glen Street is running diagonally across your screen. I keep wanting to use that mouse, and it's Glen Street here, and you've got King Street here, and the site is outlined in red. This is an R5 zoning district for residential. This is an industrial, high industrial, heavy industrial zoning district. Everybody know where we are?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. The property at 1300 Glen Street is currently zoned HI, heavy industrial, and the request is for NC, neighborhood commercial. Rezoning the property to NC is considered a downzoning, which will allow a less intensive land use. The property is near the old Anderson Mill site and a proposed multi-use trail. The long-range plan is to eventually renovate the vacant commercial-style building, which is on this site, to on the property, into a coffee shop or cafe. In the interim, it is the intent of the applicant to explore the flexibility of converting the space for residential purposes. So there will be a productive use on the site until market conditions warrant commercial development. This downzoning to neighborhood commercial would accommodate a residential use now and a restaurant use in the future, better aligning with the long-range vision for the site. So this zoning district, NC, accommodates both uses and allows that flexibility for the applicant. So staff is recommending approval as submitted. As new investment continues in the area, it's anticipated that much of the industrial zoned land will eventually be downzoned to commercial, residential, and planned development district classifications. The property location is in relation to the mill site, proposed multi-use trail, and R5 residential lends itself to the NC neighborhood commercial designation. So again, R5 here, this is the old mill site that staff anticipates will become more residential as it develops. So it makes sense that this becomes a neighborhood commercial. So this is the building on the site as it exists now. While this is all conceptual and you're not approving this, these are drawings that the applicant conceptual of what it might look like in the end as a cafe. And that concludes staff's presentation. Again, staff is recommending approval.
So this would be a downsizing of zoning, correct?
A less intense use, yes, sir.
Any other questions for staff? Did you receive any phone calls on this?
No, sir, we have not.
Any other questions for staff? Hearing none, does someone want to make a motion on RZ 2413?
Motion to approve it.
All right, motion to approve. Anyone second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, so that will also go in front of City Council with our recommendation on December 9th.
Yes, sir.
Moving along to RZ 2414.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So you can see Gadsden Street here, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to. West Hampton Street is running diagonally across the slide here. This is a school here. Does everybody understand where we are? Okay.
Yep.
So the applicant wishes to rezone the 0.61 acre property to RM10, multifamily residential, to subdivide it into 3 new lots for single-family detached dwellings. The existing LI zoning does not allow residential use. Rezoning the property to RM10 is considered, again, a downzoning, which will allow less intensive land use. The RM10 zoning classification allows single-family dwellings to be on lots of at least 5,000 square feet. Alternately, a designation of R5 single-family residential zoning would also permit the applicant to construct the 3 houses. However, the area directly across the street is zoned RM10, so the classification will be more consistent with surrounding zoning. So this is the RM10 right here. So instead of creating a spot zone just in the middle, it's easier to zone something, or it makes more sense to zone it a similar zone, adjacent zone. So that's why we're recommending the RM10 here and not an R5. Okay? Staff is recommending approval. This application represents an opportunity to help address the housing shortage without an expansion of infrastructure. Staff recommends approval as submitted. So again, it is one lot. That lot you saw in the red is now in yellow here, and they will be dividing it into equal lots. And the product would look something similar to this. These are two different facade elevations and pictures of those buildings. And that concludes staff's presentation. The applicant is here if you have any questions. Otherwise, staff is recommending approval as submitted.
So the RM10, rezoning it to that would give it the ability to put those 3 homes on there, but the applicant would then have to go through the permitting and everything to
Yes, sir.
make sure it matches for the RM10.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, to be clear, too, this is what the applicant is conceptually suggesting, the
Yeah.
subdivision of lots. But if you rezone it to RM10, it could be multifamily. But the applicant is saying their conceptual idea is to do single-family detached.
But the RM10's all the way around it.
I'm sorry?
The RM10's kind of
Yes,
all the way
sir.
around it.
The RM10 is the brown you see here.
Yeah.
Either way, single family or multifamily, it addresses a housing need in the area.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Okay.
So what's on it currently? It looks like an old warehouse of some sort, or?
Yes, sir. Again, it was an industrial, a light industrial use. And while it's, I want to point out, this is a heavy industrial zone across the street here, but its current use is a school. So it makes more sense. It makes more sense that there be a residential across the street.
Any other questions for staff? Here none, would someone like to make a motion on RZ 2414? All right, Carrie, motion approved. Second by Ron. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that too will go for first reading on Monday, December 9th in City Council. Any other business before the board?
Staff would like to remind the board that we're having a drop-in on the 12th,
Okay.
6 to 8. You're more than welcome. We'd love to see you there.
Sweet.
Having no other business, we will consider ourselves adjourned. Thank y'all.